HOA Karen's voice was a nasal chainsaw, slicing through the quiet of my backyard. This is my neighborhood, and I'll do what I want, she bellowed, her chins wobbling as she waved her phone like a scepter. She stood on my property, trampling my wildflowers, her floral dress a mockery of the blooms she crushed. I'd caught her red-handed, sneaking onto my land to inspect it, as if her HOA badge gave her divine right. The audacity was breathtaking. But what came next was a masterclass in self-destruction. I'm Jake, a guy who bought this 2-acre plot to escape the city's noise and the Karens who police it. My land's a haven wild grass, a vegetable patch, and a rickety fence I never got around to fixing. It's not much, but it's mine, deed and all. HOA, the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood association, didn't see it that way. She'd been hounding me for months, leaving passive-aggressive notes about my unkempt yard, my non-compliant mailbox, my very existence. Today, she'd crossed a line literally. I was sipping coffee on my porch when I heard the crunch of gravel. Peering over, I saw HOA waddling through my gate, her clipboard clutched like a shield. She was muttering to herself, scribbling notes, occasionally stooping to yank a weed or worse-me carrots. I set my mug down, pulse quickening. Hey, I called, striding toward her. What the hell are you doing on my property? HOA spun around, her face a mask of righteous indignation. This land is an eyesore, she snapped, jabbing a manicured finger at me. The HOA has standards, and you're violating every one. I'm documenting this for the board. Her voice dripped with disdain, as if I were a roach scuttling across her pristine world. I noticed my neighbor, Clara, watching from her yard, gripping a rake like she was ready to swing. Get off my land, I said, voice low but firm. You're trespassing. HOA laughed sharp, grating sound. Trespassing. Me. I'm protecting this community. You're the one who doesn't belong here, with your weeds and your chaos. She gestured wildly at my garden, where butterflies danced and bees hummed. To her, it was anarchy. To me, it was home. I crossed my arms. I own this land. Not the HOA. Not you. Leave, or I'm calling the cops. Her eyes narrowed, and she puffed up like a toad. Oh, you're calling the cops. I'll save you the trouble. She whipped out her phone, dialed 911, and put it on speaker, smirking as if she'd already won. Hello. Yes. This is HOA Nguyen from the Pinewood HOA. I'm at 47 Oak Lane, and there's a hostile man threatening me on private property. I couldn't help it. I laughed. Clara, still watching, snorted and muttered, "Oh, this is going to be good." HOA's face reddened, but she doubled down, describing me as a dangerous squatter to the dispatcher. The irony was thicker than her foundation. I pulled out my own phone, not to call anyone, but to record. If HOA wanted a show, I'd give her an audience. The cops arrived 10 minutes later, 2 officers stepping out of a cruiser with weary expressions. HOA rushed toward them, her voice hitting new octaves. Officers, this man is trespassing and harassing me. I'm here on official HOA business, and he's refusing to comply. She pointed at me like I was a wanted felon. Clara, now leaning on her rake, looked ready to burst into laughter. I stepped forward, calm as I could manage. Officers, I'm Jake Harper. This is my property. I have the deed to prove it. This woman, I nodded at HOA, entered my land without permission, damaged my garden, and now she's calling me the trespasser. The older officer, a grizzled guy named Rodriguez, raised an eyebrow. Let's see some proof. Then, both of you. HOA scoffed, folding her arms. I don't need proof. I'm the HOA president. I have authority here. Her confidence was bulletproof, or so she thought. I walked to my porch, grabbed the deed from my lockbox, and handed it to Rodriguez. He scanned it, nodded, then turned to HOA. Ma'am, this says he owns the land. You got anything to show you're allowed to be here? HOA's mouth opened, then closed, like a fish gasping for air. I'm enforcing community standards. This property is under HOA jurisdiction. She sputtered. Rodriguez exchanged a look with his partner, a younger officer named Kim, who was clearly biting back a smile. Ma'am, Kim said, HOA rules don't override property law. If he says you're not allowed here, you're trespassing. Step off the property, please. HOA's face went from red to purple. This is outrageous. I'm being victimized. She clutched her clipboard to her chest, as if it could shield her from reality. I'll sue. I'll have your badges. Ma'am. Rodriguez interrupted, his voice like gravel. You can leave now, or we can arrest you for trespassing and disturbing the peace. Your call. Clara, still watching, couldn't hold it in anymore. She let out a cackle, and I swear I saw Kim's lips twitch. HOA, realizing she was losing her audience, switched tactics. She started fake crying, dabbing at dry eyes with a tissue from her purse. You're all against me. This is discrimination. I'm just trying to keep this neighborhood beautiful. I couldn't resist. Beautiful. You ripped up my carrots. Those were heirloom. By the way, $20 a pound at the farmer's market. Clara laughed so hard she dropped her rake. Rodriguez wasn't impressed. Last chance. Ma'am. Move. HOA stomped off my property, muttering about lawsuits and injustice. But she didn't go far, just to the edge of my lot, where she stood, glaring, still on the phone with some poor HOA board member. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, I woke to a certified letter from the HOA, demanding I pay a $500 fine for obstructing official duties. HOA had spun a tale to the board, claiming I'd assaulted her by yelling and intimidating her. She'd even posted about it on the neighborhood Facebook group, painting herself as a martyr. The comments were a mix of sympathy from her cronies and skepticism from folks like Clara, who'd seen the whole thing. I wasn't about to let this slide. I called a lawyer friend, Mia, who specializes in property disputes. She read the letter, laughed, and said, "Oh, she's dug her own grave. Let's bury her in it." Mia drafted a cease and desist letter, citing HOA's trespassing, property damage, and defamation. We attached my deed, photos of the damaged garden, and my video of the incident. For good measure, I filed a police report for the trespassing and pressed charges. The fallout was glorious. At the next HOA meeting, which I attended for the first time, HOA tried to rally her minions against me. But Clara had spread the word, and half the room was already whispering about Karen's meltdown. I stood up, presented my evidence, and played the video. The room went silent as HOA's voice screeched through my phone speaker, calling me a squatter while trampling my flowers. When it ended, Mia handed out copies of the cease and desist letter. HOA's face was a study in panic. The board, smelling a lawsuit they couldn't afford, stripped HOA of her presidency that night. She stormed out, vowing revenge. But the damage was done. The neighborhood Facebook group exploded with memes. My favorite was a photoshopped image of HOA as a cartoon villain. Caption, "Beware the Carrot Crusher." Clara printed it on a t-shirt. A week later, HOA faced charges for trespassing and property damage. She pleaded guilty to avoid a trial, paying a fine and my legal fees. The judge ordered her to stay 500 feet from my property, which means she has to take the long way around the block to get home. Every time I see her detour, I wave. She doesn't wave back. My garden's recovering, thanks to Clara's help. She brought over some seedlings, and we've been trading veggies ever since. The neighborhood's quieter now, with HOA dethroned and the HOA board tiptoeing around me. I'm not one for revenge, but there's a certain justice in watching someone's ego implode under the weight of their own nonsense. Sometimes, the universe delivers exactly what you deserve. The end.